The wilderness has always been a place where people go to escape the noise of the world. For some, it's about reconnecting with nature. For others, it's about finding peace of mind. But for Josh Peterson, a 27-year-old hiker from Denver, Colorado, his trip into the mountains of Utah will become something much darker, an encounter that still leaves him shaken whenever he talks about it. Josh had set out on a cross-country road trip, hoping to clear his head after a tough breakup. His plan was simple: drive, camp, hike, and take in the beauty of America's hidden trails. He wasn't afraid of solitude. In fact, he welcomed it. That's what drew him to the Wasatch Cache National Forest, a sprawling wilderness area in northern Utah known for its rugged mountains, deep forests, and winding dirt roads. On his second night there, he found a pull-off on a dirt road where he could park his SUV. He set up camp, cooked a small dinner, and admired the endless canopy of stars. Everything felt calm, safe even until the next morning. When Josh woke up, something was wrong. He noticed right away that his SUV was leaning strangely. At first, he thought maybe the uneven dirt had caused it, but when he walked around to check, his stomach dropped. All four of his tires had been slashed open, not just punctured, completely shredded. The marks were deep, deliberate, and fresh. Someone had been there during the night. The realization hit hard. He was miles from the nearest town, with no self-service and no way to drive out. Whoever had done this wanted him stranded. Josh tried to stay calm. He strapped on his backpack, grabbed a water bottle, and decided to walk back toward the main road. It would take hours, but he figured eventually he'd run into a passing car. But just 30 minutes into his trek, things took a terrifying turn. It started with a sound, branches snapping behind him. Josh turned, expecting maybe a deer. Instead, what he saw made his blood run cold. A group of at least 6 people was standing on the trail, staring at him. They were all dressed the same, long white clothing, loose and flowing, almost like robes. Their faces were pale in the morning light, and none of them said a word. They just stood there, motionless, watching him. Josh's instincts screamed at him to move. He turned back and picked up his pace. At first, he tried not to look back, convincing himself they might just be hikers. But when he glanced over his shoulder, his heart nearly stopped. They were following him, slowly at first, then quicker. That's when panic set in. Josh broke into a sprint. His boots pounded against the dirt path, his breath ragged as he tore through the woods. But no matter how fast he ran, he could hear them, branches breaking, footsteps rushing behind him. At one point, he risked a glance back. The group were running too, their white clothing whipping through the trees, their faces expressionless. It was like something out of a nightmare. Josh left the trail, crashing through thick brush, hoping to lose him in the forest. Branches scratched raw at his arms and legs. But he dared not stop. Minutes felt like hours. His lungs burned, his legs shook, but still he pushed forward. He couldn't hear them as clearly anymore, but every so often he swore he caught glimpses of white between the trees. Finally, he stumbled onto a narrow service road, a rough gravel track cutting through the forest. He didn't know where it led, but it was better than being trapped in the trees. He followed it for what felt like forever, until at last, by some miracle, he saw a vehicle approaching in the distance, a county sheriff's SUV. Josh waved his arms frantically, nearly collapsing as the vehicle pulled over. The deputy got out, immediately concerned. Josh was out of breath, scratched up, and clearly terrified. He told the officer everything. The slashed tires, the people in white, and the chase through the woods. The deputy listened carefully, then let out a long sigh. He told Josh that, while rare, there had been reports of groups living in the Wasatch Cache Forest, not your average campers, but isolated religious sects sometimes referred to as woods cults. According to the deputy, these groups often kept to themselves, but outsiders who stumbled too close to their territory weren't always welcomed. The slashed tires, the silent pursuit, it all fit a pattern he'd heard before. The deputy assured Josh he was safe now. They drove back to Josh's SUV, confirmed the tires were beyond repair, and had the vehicle towed out. Josh never saw the group again. They hadn't followed the road. It was as if they melted back into the trees. In the weeks after, Josh couldn't stop replaying it in his mind. Who were they? Why target him? Were they trying to scare him off? Or were they planning something worse? The thought of waking up in his tent while strangers circled his campsite kept him up at night. Friends told him it was just bad luck, that he'd wandered into the wrong place at the wrong time. But deep down, Josh believed it was more than that. Someone had watched him that night, waited for him to fall asleep, and then cut his tires. That level of intent didn't feel random. To this day, he refuses to hike alone in Utah or anywhere else. He still loved the outdoors, but now he sticks to busy trails and campgrounds, always keeping a charged satellite phone on hand. And sometimes, late at night, when he remembers those pale figures in white chasing him through the forest, he wonders what would have happened if he hadn't escaped. If you ever find yourself hiking in the vast forests of America, always remember, you're not truly alone out there. Sometimes, the dangers aren't wild animals or the elements, but people who don't want to be found. What do you think Josh encountered that night? A secluded religious group? A dangerous cult? Or something else entirely? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like this video, share with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more chilling true horror stories from across the USA. Stay safe out there, because you never know who might be watching.